Welcome, students. This is your video for next Tuesday. It's a spiral review video. Today in class we'll be doing a little review game that we're going to count as our first test of this 6 weeks, and then we'll be taking our district checkpoint as well. So let's go ahead and get started into these problems. Alright, the first problem here says a line having a slope of 1/2 passes through the point O2. Which equation does not represent this information correctly? So that's a key part right there. That means 3 of these are right and 1 of them is wrong, and we're looking for the wrong answer, and that's going to be our right one. To have a slope of 1/2, we know that in y equals mx plus b, the m has to be 1/2. So we got to have 1/2 x. So the first thing I would do is get rid of any ones that don't have 1/2 x. We don't know what goes on the end of it. So I know b is an option still. This one needs a little bit of solving, so I would double rainbow that. So this becomes 1 minus 2 equals 1/2 x, and 1/2 times 0 is 0. Then I plus 2 to both sides, so this equals 1/2 x plus 2 also. Okay. So I'm not going to eliminate that because it still has the 1/2 x in it. Here I'm going to double rainbow. So that y minus 0 just goes away. Y equals 1/2 x, and then half of negative 2 is negative 1. So again, I'm not going to get rid of that one because it has the 1/2 in it. This one, I just have to move the 1/2 x over to the other side. So plus 1/2 x to both sides. Those cancel. Y equals, I like to have the half first, so 1/2 x. The plus 2 on the end. So all of them have the 1/2 x. What I do also notice is that this one, and this one are all the same 1/2 x. Well, we already said that one of these is going to look different than the other. One of them is going to be right because it's the wrong answer. And it's looking more and more like this one is it because it's the only one different from those. So the next thing I did was I took my graphing calculator and and I typed in 1/2 x plus 2, and then I went to the table, and once I got to the table, you can see that this has 0, 2 in there. So that further cemented that this met both criteria, which makes those the wrong answer, because again, we were looking for the one that does not represent it. Then I took the other one and put it in my graphing calculator, 1/2 x, 1/2 x minus 1. And when I looked at the table for it, you see that 0 goes with negative 1. So this is the correct answer because it does not represent that problem correctly. The main thing you needed to know there was the solving that you had to do and just this idea of using the calculator. Alright, the next one, domain and range. We had the robot. Domain meant left to right. Range meant bottom to top. Our question asks us about the range. We also know about Dr. X, Y, which says that the domain is about the X and the range is about the Y. Since this is about range, I can go ahead and get rid of both of these that have X's in them. Okay, I'm not going to be focused on left to right, I'm going to be focused on bottom to top. So the lowest part that this graph goes is right here, which is negative 3. And at that point, I'm probably done with the problem because D is the only one with negative 3. I'll double check just to make sure. The top of the problem is at 6. Y goes in the middle. We always start with less thans. Black dot or if it touches. Black dot or if it touches. So D is the correct answer. The graph of a line is shown below. If the y-intercept were increased by 3 and the slope were doubled, what would be the equation of the new line? To me, I think it'd be in your best interest to find the m and b of this current line. Well, the b is easy. It's right there. 1, 2. The b of the old one, and we'll write old one. The b of the old one is 2. The slope of the old one, I find another spot where it crosses right there. That's up 1 over 3. So up 1 over 3. Now, I'm supposed to increase this by 3. So that means my new b is going to be 5. 1/3, I'm supposed to double this, so 1/3 times 2 1/3 times 2, math 1 in my calculator tells me that 1/3 times 2 is 2/3, so I'm looking for something with 2/3 and 5 in it. No, yes, no, no. So there's my answer. Okay. Given the function f of x equals 3x squared minus 7, what is the value of f of negative 3? What we have to see here is in the parentheses an x, so that's an x. We've told you in class multiple times that you have to use these parentheses. If you're going to do it like the middle school way of plugging in, you'd have to take 3 parentheses, negative 3. This square has to be on the outside, minus 7. Type this in your calculator and it will get you the answer. The other option is to go to your graphing calculator and go to y equals and type in 3x squared minus 7. Hit second graph to bring up your table. Oops. I have a problem getting my table to be bigger. There we go. And when you look in your table, look for an x of negative 3. You'll find out that when x is negative 3, the answer is 20. So D is the correct answer. This would also give you that. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 minus 7 is 20. The only reason I don't love this way is because of the negative symbols, and sometimes we mess up with those, and then the calculator part kind of takes that away. Alright, this is one of the problems from the activity we did the other day. It says the amount of appliance repairman charges for each job is represented by the function f of x equals 50h plus 35, where h is the number of hours he spent on the job, and t represents the total amount he charges for the job. The repairman plans to change the amount he charges for each job. The amount he plans to charge is represented by the new function g of x equals 50h plus 45. What will be the effect of the change on the amount he charges for each job? So this is what he used to do. Oops. And this is what he's going to start doing. Okay. So what we notice is that this number out here changes. So this number is the slope, and it stayed the same. This number is the y-intercept, and it's what changes. So some other words for slope are rate, or rate of change. Some other words for y-intercept are the starting amount, or initial amount, or deposit. Okay, so let's take a look at the answers. The starting amount for the job will increase by 10. So the starting amount, the y-intercept, is the one that changed. So I might think that's right. It went from 35 to 45, so that is an increase. The starting amount of the job will decrease by 10. It did not decrease. The amount he charges per hour. We've talked about multiple times that this word per refers to where our slope's going to be. So both of these two are wrong because they talk about slope. So A is the correct answer. At a chili cook-off, people pay 50 cents for each bowl of chili. The total cost of 4 bowls is $5. Okay, so we're supposed to write an equation in point slope form and in slope intercept form to figure this out. So this part right here, for each, this lets me know that that is a slope. So my slope is 0.50. The point that I'm given is that 4 bowls equals $5. So our point slope formula that we learned in class, and this will be on your formula chart, is y minus y1 equals, equals m times x minus x1, where this is m and this is x1, y1. So y minus y1 is 5 equals 0.50 times x minus 4. This is point slope form, so it could be left that way. To get to slope intercept form, we have to go ahead and solve that. So I'm going to do slope intercept form here. Y minus 50 equals 0.5 times x minus 4. You double rainbow. So y minus 5 equals 0.5 times x is 0.5x. half of negative 4 is negative 2, plus 5 to both sides, plus 5 to both sides, y equals 0.5x. Negative 2 plus 5 is $3. So when I initially started reading this, it didn't make sense to me because 4 bowls cost him $5. Well, 4 times 50 cents is only $2. So what that means is that they're charging a certain amount just to get in to the chili cook-off, and that certain amount that they're charging is $3, and that's why it's important to be able to put it in slope-intercept form, because you find the starting amount or the initial fee that you're being charged. This problem was in our game that we played the other day too. It says the graph below shows the height of a hot air balloon as it descends. Remember we learned in class that descend means to go down, so the hot air balloon is going down. A second hot air balloon was descending at the same rate, but initially was 250 feet higher from the ground. Which equation would describe the height from the ground of the second hot air balloon? Okay, so the first hot air balloon is here, and that's halfway between 3,000 and 4,000, so that's 3,500, and so it's decreasing. So these numbers on the end are the starting amount. So our second hot air balloon was the same rate, but initially, or it started 250 feet higher. So it did not start at 3,500, but it did go down at the same rate of this. So I do need to figure out what the rate of this is. And the best way to do that is to be able to do stat edit with some of the points that you're given and try to get the slope on here. So what I see here is here's a good point, and that was a good point that I started with. So that point that I started with was over 0 up 3,500. The second point is over 1 up 2,000. So I'm going to pause this video and do stat edit and bring the pictures back. Alright, so I put 0, 1 in my L1, and I put 3,500 and 2,000 in my L2, and I do stat edit, and I find out that my slope is right here. It's negative 1,500. So that tells me that B is not right, and that C is right, because it said it had the same, it's descending at the same rate. That means the slope, this number, had to stay the same.